Alright, how we doing guys? Dino here from Fundamental Guitar. In this lesson I'm going to be showing you how to play Eternal Sunshine by Aiko. I did a lesson for Spotless Mind last week, and that was really quite simple. It was two main chords in fact, that get you the majority of the song. And this one's even easier in fact, because it's just three chords. It's a constant loop going round and round. Every section is the same. Okay, so let's listen to the track, let's fit the chord in context, get an idea of how it sounds, and then we'll go into a breakdown. So we're in 4/4 standard tuning. There's your pulse. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's 4 chords. We're starting on D major 7. Okay, to G major 7, and then G minor 7, back to D major 7. Okay, so with a little bit of rhythm. And that's it, there's your 4-bar progression. So we start on D major 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, and G major 7, 3, 4, G minor 7, 3, 4, back to D major 7, 3, 4, and there we go, that's how it sounds. That's how it fits together. For a lot of you that's enough. You've got the description with the tabs and the song structure, but we'll go into a close-up to break it down for those of you that need to see the finger positions and the movements and the transitions and whatnot. Also, just to mention, it's a piano song, obviously. We're transcribing to guitar. The chords on piano are a little bit tricky, so I'm using simplified chords that are more practical for guitar. D major 7, G major 7, G minor 7, but they're not the exact chords. So as we go into the breakdown at the end, I'll give you the chords that they're using on piano if you wanted to mess around with them as well. So let's go into a close-up and start breaking it down. Okay, both hands in shot. We've got left hand for the chords. We can see what the right hand's doing as well. Not exactly for rhythm, but more for what strings I'm pulling, because this isn't a guitar song. There isn't actually a strumming pattern. We're going to keep it really simple. But yeah, we're going to be plucking strings, so I'll show you what strings we're pulling. Let's go with the first chord though, D major 7. Index finger will bar the first 3 strings in the 2nd fret, and you play from the open D. That's a D major 7. So you don't play the E and the A, so mute, mute, 0, 2, 2, 2. There's your D major 7. Okay, if you don't like the barring, you use the tips of your fingers there to play the same chord. Okay, different hand position. Okay, so there's D major 7. And the way we're going to pluck it is the thumb, guys, will always play the bass note. So the bass note here is the D, open D, 4th string, and these 3 fingers are going to work together to play the treble strings. Okay, so all together, there's your D major 7. The pinky doesn't really get involved. If you look at your hand, it's too short really to be a part of this crew. These 3 can work together, or you can play like a arpeggio, or even bass verses, or bass and treble together. Okay, so that's the general theme throughout with the chords. There's your D major 7. Something to mention here, if you listen to the piano chord and what I'm playing at the beginning, I'm leaving out this note. Okay, so I'm only really playing the 4, the 3 and the 2 strings, that is. Okay, so the D, the G and the B strings, because that's what they're playing in the piano. They're leaving out the F sharp, the high E string. Let's leave it out. Okay, if you want to play all of them, play all of them, but if you want to match the track, okay, leave out the high E string. And the F sharp is the 3rd note in the chord, so it's a bit dodgy when you take out the 3rd, because that's the note that's telling you whether the chord's major or minor. It's not exactly a suspended chord, but it's a 5 chord, so D5 with the major 7. But I'm going to refer to it as D major 7 just to make life easy, okay? You do whatever you like the sound of, what you're most comfortable with. And we're going to go from the D major 7 over to a G major 7. Okay, so let's look at how to play that. Think about an A minor shape, guys. Yeah, but not with your 1, 2 and 3 fingers. We're going to switch it for 2, 3 and 4. Slide it up 1, slide it up 2 frets, and then we use our index finger or the thumb to get the G in the bass, 6th string 3rd fret, and you're going to be plucking 6, 4, 3 and 2. Okay, there's your G major 7. So when you transition, your 2nd finger is your locator point or locator finger. It's going to go 2nd string 3rd fret, get these 2 on, then get your bass and your 7, okay? So do it in that order. Once you're used to it and you've practiced, you can do it all in one smooth movement. Okay, so from the G major 7, we're going to move to G minor 7. Okay, and again, this sounds like a weird progression there, weird movement. You don't really get the major and minor chord in the same key, but again, that's what they're going for with these sort of strange, mystical kind of chord or chord progression or variation. Okay, so it works in context with the song. So what's happening is the major 7 and the major 3rd want to flatten them by 1 semitone, so they need to go back a fret. In second, 3rd and 4th fingers, so that we need to get all the notes in the 3rd fret. Okay, so the easiest way is to play with the tips of your fingers. So we're going to play the 6th string, skip the 5th, play the 4th, the 3rd and the 2nd, and leave out the 1st. So pluck those strings, 6, 4, 3 and 2. Okay, and that's your G minor 7. Okay, I think that's the easiest grip to use. I mean, you could do the half bar and the thumb, pluck the same strings, or you could do the half bar with the 3rd finger and the 2nd finger to get the bass. Same strings, this is still the same chord. You could even go back to the full textbook. Okay, but you can see you don't really get a clean sound there, so I'd suggest going with that. Okay, and both of these chords there, well, let's round it off. You finish back with your D major 7. Okay, so there's your progression: D major 7 to G major 7, and G minor 7 goes back to D major 7. Okay, so let's have a listen to some ideas of rhythm, because I'm just playing semi-breathes there, and I think that's what sounds good on the intro. The piano itself is playing, that's the rhythm of the piano, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So 8th note rhythm, quavers, but we want to play semi-breathes. We want to follow what the strings are doing, yeah? 2, 3, 4. So that kind of just sits nicely, even over the verse. Once you start singing, I'd stick with, if you want to just, if you're playing with just the guitar, you can tap the guitar. Okay, so I'd say stick with that, even for the next line. And if you want to build it up, we'll go into a little bit of rhythm here. So this is the pre-chorus, you could do the same again. Okay, I'll break it down in a sec, but let's just get over to the chorus. And for the chorus, I'd say go either stay on the same or go back to, follow what the strings are doing, and let the vocal just glide on top, yeah? Okay, so let's pause it there. Let's have a listen to that rhythm. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4. Okay, so we're in 4/4. When you count over your rhythm guides, you can figure out where the notes are being played. So obviously on the 1, 2, there's the mute. 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a mute on the 4, but there's something in between. 1, 2 and 3, 4. So the and of the 2, you pull the strings again. So 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4. Okay, so here's some ideas for rhythm. There isn't a strumming pattern. You could do whatever you like. If you want to throw in a few upstrokes, or even a little slide. Do whatever you like the sound of, whatever you feel comfortable, and experiment. Okay, so there we go. There's all the chords, there's transition, timing, some rhythm. To round it off, guys, we're just going to delve a little bit deeper into some theory and look at these chords, because this song is actually doing some interesting stuff. For those of you that are into that kind of stuff and are interested by it, we're going to go into an extreme close-up and zoom in right into the fretboard and have a real close look at what the real piano chords are doing. Okay, so let's zoom in now and have a good look at that. Okay, so we've got a really nice view of the fretboard and the fingers here now, so we can see everything that's going on. We went from D major 7, which is really, if you're only playing those 3 notes, it's really a D5 with the major 7, and then G major 7 for a bar followed by G minor 7. Okay, the piano doesn't really go to G minor 7, it actually goes to a G minor major 7. Okay, first let me tell you how to play it, and then we'll discuss what is going on. From your G major 7, the pinky is playing the major 3rd. So in the key of G, 1, 3, 5 would be G, B and D. So there's the B, and it wants to go to a B flat, so 1 fret behind. So the way you do that is you use your index to just play the B, so the note behind the pinky's playing, and take the pinky off, and then the same strings gives you a G minor major 7, okay? Okay, what's going on? It's just becoming a minor chord. It's a G major chord becoming a G minor chord, but the 7 isn't moving, the major 7 is still there. So the term major 7 is not referring to whether the chord's major or minor, because only the 3rd note can determine if it's major or minor, and it's being flattened, so it is a minor chord. The major 7 is referring to the distance between the 1st note and that 7th note. If you go through the scale, it's a major 7th interval. Okay, the terms just start to get confusing at this stage, but these chords aren't really used that often. You find them in like theatrical kind of music or classical movie scores, but this is the vibe they've gone for in this song. Okay, so you go from G major 7 to G minor major 7, and then from there, just before you change back to the D for the 4th bar, D major 7, you go to a G minor major 7 flat 5. Okay, yeah, so it gets worse. So let's rewind. G major 7, the pinky note is a B, it's the 3rd, it's being flattened to make it a minor chord. So you use your index and take the pinky off. Okay, and then to get G minor major 7 flat 5, you just need to flatten the 5. So your 2nd finger there is playing the 5, and you need to go back 1. Obviously you can't do it, so what you do is you switch these 2 fingers around. What the index is playing, you play with the 2nd, and now use the index to play 2nd string, 2nd fret, and that gives you your G major minor 7, but now with a flat 5. 1, flat 3, flat 5, 7. Okay, let's just make sure we're clear on the tabs. So G major 7 would be 3, mute, 4, 4, 3, mute, so we don't play the high E, and then you flatten the B with your index, take the pinky off, so now you've got 3, mute, 4, 3, 3. You can hear that spooky kind of vibe it's got going on, and then we're going to flatten the 5th. So here we go. Now we've got 6 mute, 3 mute, 4, 3, 2, even more spooky mute. Okay, and then you go back to D major 7. Now that chord, minor major 7 flat 5, happens on the 4th beat. So you'll get let's go run through it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's like a little transitional chord, and if I'm honest, it doesn't sound great on guitar. It sounds better on piano. But I just wanted to throw it out there and let you know exactly what was going on. Okay, so there we go. There's the lesson, guys. Hopefully it made sense. As always, got any questions, just give me a shout. Get at me at Facebook as well. That's where I do. That's the best form of communication, I should say. And hopefully I shall see you again soon. Take care.